Good evening, everyone, and welcome to 12 News at 6. I'm Mark Curtis.
I'm Rachel Cole in for Caribe this evening. Convicted murderer Lori Vallow Daybell chewed out over and over again in a packed courtroom today as a judge issued her 2 life sentences for 2 murder conspiracy cases here in Arizona. Those sentences are on top of her life sentences in Idaho.
The I-Team's Erica Stapleton was in the courtroom as this final chapter unfolded today. And Erica, some families have been waiting 6 years for justice in these cases, and their sorrow and anger was palpable.
Exactly, Mark. And there were really a lot of striking moments in the courtroom today, from emotional and painful impact statements to Lori Vallow Daybell's demeanor. Let me start with her. Take a look at this. After this was all over, someone in the courtroom yelled, "Rotten prison," and Lori Vallow Daybell looked over and winked before walking out of the courtroom. And prison is exactly where she will be going next, because she was already sentenced to life in prison in Idaho for murdering her children, Tylee and JJ, and for her role in the death of Tammy Daybell, her current husband's first wife. Now she's sentenced to life in prison for conspiring to kill her former husband, Charles Vallow, who died in 2019. She was also sentenced to life in prison for conspiring to kill her niece's ex-husband, Brandon Boudreaux. He survived a shooting attempt and was in the courtroom today. Lori Vallow Daybell also spoke out, taking no responsibility for all the pain she caused.
Now I will serve 7 life sentences. Will that be enough? Will that be enough? I want everyone to know that I mourn with all of you. I am sorry for your pain. Losing those close to you is painful, and I acknowledge all of the pain, and I do empathize. I feel it too. If I was accountable for these crimes, I would acknowledge it, and I would let you know how sorry I was.
Now I want to focus on the victims and their families, many of whom showed up in full force to face Lori Vallow Daybell one more time in court. As I mentioned, Brandon Boudreaux and many of his family members spoke out about the toll his attempted murder took on him and his minor children. Kay Woodcock, JJ Vallow's grandmother, shared not only her own impact statement, but an emotional statement written from the perspective of JJ Vallow, who was 7 when he was killed, and Lori Vallow Daybell is convicted of killing him. Kay's husband, Larry Woodcock, had some of the most scathing words for Lori. He couldn't even say her name. He just kept calling her murderer and murderess.
You murdered Charles, the best thing that was ever in your life, for your delusional, narcissistic way. You will never get anything out of me again in your life. You are nothing. You are nothing. You killed Tylee. Did you enjoy it? Look at me, Lori. Did you enjoy it? You wrapped JJ's hands in tape. You wrapped his arms in tape. You covered his eyes. And you buried him in 8 inches of ground. Murderess!
People in the courtroom were crying during his remarks as Lori just sat there. And what was interesting, you guys, was that the judge seemed to allow all of the victims to say what they wanted, including details from Lori's Idaho case. You heard a lot of Tylee and JJ, her children who were killed, and it really felt like an ending moment after all of these years. Mark, Rachel?
Erica, she's never going to spend another moment in Arizona prison. She's going to serve out her life sentences in Idaho. How soon will she be extradited?
You know, Mark, we have been trying to ask MCSO what that will look like, but at this point, they're being really tight-lipped. They said for security purposes, they can't tell us when that is going to be happening. There's a sense in the courtroom that maybe it could be soon. I think, you know, as we saw from the judge today, everyone in Arizona seems to be sick of her. So I'm sure people are very eager to ship her back up to Idaho. We don't know the details of what that extradition will look like, and it seems like MCSO will be the ones making that trip, bringing her back to Idaho, where again, she will be spending the rest of her life in prison. So as soon as we know when that transfer happens, we will of course bring you those details. But again, just some final moments today. After 6 long years of seeking justice in these cases, we now have convictions and sentencings here in Arizona. For now, we are live in the studio tonight. Erica Stapleton, 12 News.
Erica, thank you. Yeah, her audacity just So
The
unsettling.
wink.
So unsettling.
Yeah.
And yeah, the wink, the smirking, the smiling through
Yeah.
all the footage
Not
that
a
Erica's scrubbed.
bit of remorse.
Just disgusting. So Lori Vallow Daybell, now convicted and sentenced to life in prison in 2 states. Her story, from doomsday mom to double murder conspirator, has of course garnered national attention. And our coverage doesn't stop here. You can head to 12 Plus and watch our digital special breaking down the entire case, the trials, and of course what could come next. Again, that's going to be with Erica Stapleton and her extensive coverage on this case.